Let me tell you how fast a dream can turn into a war, especially when your dream has four walls, a concrete floor, and just enough space to breathe. I'd been chasing this idea for years, a garage of my own. Not just any old spot for junk and tools, but a real deal workshop, something solid enough to outlast the rain, quiet enough for thinking, and hell, big enough so I wouldn't have to crawl over old transmissions just to find my wrench. The kind of place that made all those years fixing engines in borrowed driveways and storage units finally worth it. I picked the edge of Willow Creek on purpose last house before the trees started. First place the world seemed to leave you alone. One side faced perfect lawns and matching mailboxes, but the back ran wild with woods. I paid my bills, kept my head down, smiled, and waved when folks walked their dogs. And honestly, life was simple. It wasn't peace exactly, but it was quiet, and sometimes that's all a man needs. Building the garage was a whole journey. I didn't cut corners, not one. Pored over the HOA rules like I was studying for the bar exam. Triple-checked every line, size, limits, paint color, setback from the fence. Applied for every permit, kept every email, hired pros for the work. Sent that 30-day notice to the HOA, just like the bylaws said. Not a nail went in until I had all my papers, all my stamps. To me, it was just being careful. To some people, though, careful is an invitation. So the day the garage finally stood, their doors rolling smooth wood still smelling fresh, I felt like I'd finally arrived. That high lasted less than 24 hours. Next morning, there's a knock sharp, not neighborly. I open up, and there's Doran McLaughlin, HOA president, clutching a folder like it's the Holy Grail. She gets right to the point. My garage violated HOA regulations, apparently built without proper committee approval, and now I've got 60 days to tear it down. She says it with a smile like she's offering a casserole, not a death sentence. I'm stunned, but I push back. Show her my permit, remind her about the notice. She shakes her head, whips out a letter, supposedly a denial dated 28 days before construction. Never seen it before in my life. It isn't even on official letterhead, just plain printer paper signature at the bottom. Cold dread runs down my back. Doran enjoys the moment, says the committee did their job, and warns me about penalties. Then she leaves heels, tapping out a countdown as she walks off. I stand in the kitchen, letter in hand, feeling the house shrink around me. I check everything. My bylaws, clear as daylight, say, if there's no committee response in 30 days, that's automatic approval. Not maybe. Not if they feel like it. It's in black and white. I pull up my email 34 days before construction with attachments time-stamped, no bounce back. Nothing in my inbox, not in spam, not in the mailbox outside. For good measure, I even call the post office. Dana, the clerk, confirms no certified or registered mail from the HOA at all. If they didn't send it certified, it's not valid. So now I know. Doran hadn't just bent the rules, she'd snapped them clean in half. Either she never sent that letter and just made one up for drama, or she sent it regular mail, hoping I'd roll over. Either way, my garage was legal. But she was betting I wouldn't push back. Well, wrong bet. I scanned every document I had made notes, like I was prepping for trial, and braced myself. And just in time, because the first fine hit my mailbox that week, $500 for unauthorized construction, $100 a day until I tore down the garage. They tacked on more fake violations, aesthetic standards, neighborhood harmony. 3 weeks in, the bill hit $2,600. That's when I called Joanna Ellis, lawyer recommended by a friend who'd had a solar panel war with his own HOA. Joanna's the kind of person you want in your corner, calm, razor sharp, with a low-key anger for petty injustice. She takes one look at my stack of proof and says, "They're bluffing. The bylaws are crystal clear. No certified mail, no denial, automatic approval. And if they lien your house, we sue for harassment." The next day, I get a new threat lien proceedings against my home if I don't pay up. Joanna tells me to let them try. I'm ready. Then Doran escalates, puts a big yellow poster on my fence and bulletin boards around the neighborhood, basically calling me a lawbreaker. Neighbors start whispering, some offer sympathy. Others just avoid me. Joanna sends the official demand letter, show us proof of certified mail or drop the fines. 14 days go by. Silence. Not a peep from Doran or her committee. I start digging deeper turns. Out this architectural committee is just Doran. No names listed, just her. Other neighbors start reaching out. Sarah from down the street, denied for a gazebo, told the committee was confidential. An anonymous email pops up. You're not the only one. She targets people. Fight hard. This isn't about my garage anymore. It's about Doran's personal fiefdom. One Saturday, while I'm under the hood of my old Mustang, 2 cop cars roll up. Doran's standing behind them, smug as ever. The cops check my permits, look over the garage, flip through my color-coded folder, then hand it back. All legal. Nothing we can do here, ma'am. Doran's face goes red. She demands they arrest me. They tell her again that HOA disputes aren't crimes. She storms off, hissing that this isn't over. Next morning, I wake up to find illegal structure sprayed in red paint across my new garage. No signature, but everyone knows. I install cameras front, back, and side. Let her try again. A few days pass, then a petition appears on my mailbox, 12 signatures demanding action. But an anonymous note follows. Half those people never saw the garage. Ask Craig. She added his name without asking. I do. He denies ever signing it. I send Joanna the proof, fraudulent petitioning, more ammo. Then comes a zoning inspector responding to an anonymous tip that I'm running a business. I give him coffee, show the empty garage, just personal projects. He laughs, writes me a clearance, leaves. Classic HOA move, but it doesn't stick. Another whistleblower reaches out, calls herself D. Says Doran's forging denial letters, rewriting minutes. I file a formal request for all committee meeting logs. 4 days later, I get a flash drive, 14 logs, all signed by Doran alone, 8 approvals, her friends, 6 denials, her critics. My own rejection was processed 2 weeks after I'd already built the garage, backdated, forged, and now in my hands. Joanna's ecstatic. This isn't just your case, it's systemic abuse. We need an emergency meeting. We send a breakdown to every mailbox in Willow Creek, proof of selective enforcement, backdating fake committees' misused funds. The neighborhood erupts. Facebook group blows up. By Thursday, the board caves, emergency town hall. Everyone must attend, no proxies. The gym is packed, voices rise. Neighbors confront Doran, denied applications, favors for donors, all coming out in the open. Mark Powell, former committee member, stands up, plays an audio recording of Doran admitting she acts alone. I am the committee. These people don't read the bylaws anyway. Gasps, shouts. The treasurer confesses to mysterious payments under admin expenses, over $8,000 gone. Vote is called 67 for removal, 4 abstain. Doran's out. A rotating interim board steps in. She leaves the gym without a word, swallowed by the parking lot. 3 days later, I get served. Doran suing me for defamation, emotional distress, accusing me of coordinated slander. Joanna laughs. Baseless. We'll countersue. Meanwhile, D, the inside source, tips us off Doran's shredding documents at the HOA office. I film her through the window. Joanna files an emergency order for evidence preservation. In court, Joanna lays it out: forged documents, audio confessions, fraudulent fines, slander. Judge dismisses Doran's countersuit, orders her to pay $5,000 in court costs, and refers her for investigation for destruction of evidence. An audit soon reveals over $8,400 misappropriated. Doran's been reimbursing herself for phony expenses. She pleads out, pays it back, loses her CPA license, stuck with a fraud charge. My case wraps up with a $22,000 judgment for me. Doran owes extra for defamation, illegal fines, and the graffiti. Yep, her nephew did it. Security cam never lies. The judge says something I'll never forget. When leadership becomes dictatorship, the law steps in. This was never about a garage. It was about power, and power abused. 6 weeks later, a for sale sign goes up in front of Doran's house. Windows shut. No more pastel cardigans watering petunias. No one waving when she leaves. Willow Creek moves on brownies on my porch, from Sarah handshakes from Mr. Hill, and even Craig swings by, sheepish but friendly. The Mustang finally gets her new coat of paint. I host an open garage day. Neighbors wander and swap stories. Check out the lift. I thank everyone for coming. Say my bit. This garage was a dream. It turned into a nightmare because someone forgot. Rules aren't weapons. I didn't win because I had power. I won because I had proof and help, and maybe because I'm too stubborn to quit. A week later, I hang a steel plaque above the garage, built, legally inspected twice. Try me. Doran moves out and the new board rewrites the rules, votes logged, all meetings public, no more secret committees. Someone asks if I'll run for the board. I just laugh. I'll fix their brakes, but I'm done with politics. I never did figure out who Dee was. Last text came after the trial. She's finished. Garage looks good. Enjoy the silence. Dee. And you know what I finally did? So here's what sticks with me sometimes. You win, not by fighting harder, but by refusing to let someone else rewrite reality, just because they think they can. In the end, rules work both ways, especially if you bother to read them. But let me throw this out. Where's the line between authority and abuse? When does protecting the community turn into protecting yourself? And if someone tried this to you, would you fight or just let it go? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me about a time you had to stand your ground or when someone crossed the line. Justice, karma, stubbornness. Where do you draw the line? I want to hear your story.